We're flowing like a
Today's
river.
flowing like a river. Um, Flow is such a beautiful thing. I know there's flow state, but I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for flow because I think I try to control so much in other parts of my life. And as I'm getting older and going along this journey more, learning to not suppress and embrace the
Hmm.
things that I want less of, but realizing that I need to just let them flow.
Yeah.
Um, it's our own word has been evolving for me quite a bit. So we are flowing, and today is a true flow day. Last week's session was kind of a flow too. There's planning is important, and we never want to come across like disheveled or unorganized. That's my own words. But part of being in flow and flow state, especially when you're with someone and doing things like that, Paolo and I have this beautiful benefit of being able just to jump on, hit record, and flow because we know how to get to that state.
Yeah.
So we have a fun episode today where we're asking each other three surprise questions. Neither of us know what they are. We're having trust in each other that they're not crazy questions over the top that we can't answer, which we'd have to get pushed pretty far. And the caveat
Yeah.
is we can pass on two, and this is live, so you're just gonna hear it
I
live with
actually,
us.
I don't think there would be any question that I would have a hard time answering.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Only
it's really
questions I
interesting.
would have a hard, yeah.
No, I mean, go ahead.
The only questions I have a hard time answering on pod are answers that involve other people because I'm so willing to be open with my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
But if I can't answer authentically, because I know that I'm gonna have to, I don't know how to phrase the answer without shedding more light on someone that may or may not want that. That might be a challenge, but
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like you can be creative around like I actually don't have any questions that would involve anybody else. I don't think, but
yeah,
yeah. Well, let's
that's
get to
funny.
it. I'm
Yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
just rock paper scissors. Whoever who goes first.
Okay.
Although this is really interesting because it's not exactly in time. So if one of us is delayed, you can make a quick
We
change.
can close our eyes.
Well, the audience will be able to see.
Okay. We're gonna do it.
Ready?
Ready? We're gonna say rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right. Rock,
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors,
shoot.
shoot. I
What?
even if you actually
You're
if
cutting
anybody
me.
yeah if anybody looks back, I warned her I was doing this. If you watch my
I
hands, I
did
did
too.
this.
I was doing that too. Okay, fine.
All right.
So what does that mean?
I asked the first question. That's what it means.
All
All right.
right.
What's a belief about coaching
Mm.
or healing, regulation, nervous system that you held 2 years ago that you would actually argue against now?
Mm.
And two years it could be 5 years. Does that the time frame doesn't matter, but just something that you've actually got almost the opposite stance on now.
Okay. So I would have to go back longer than 2 years, and maybe even longer than 5 years. But I can roll to this urgency. Um, I have relaxed my stance on urgency, and that's less coaching. It's through coaching that I've learned more of this. So taking action is important, but there is so much value in slowing down to speed up. There is so much value in stillness,
Hmm.
which is a practice, a nervous system practice that I I am committed to. I work to practice daily. And I learned that stillness is not the opposite of urgency, right? Stillness is also not just sitting and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So things like silent walks, which is still stillness, your body is moving, but your mind is just with nature. And I don't even want to say quiet because you're on noticing things. It's not like a deep meditative state where you're not
Yeah.
noticing anything. So I would say urgency and the sense of urgency. The sense of urgency is a crutch that people use to blame busyness and chaos and
Yeah.
not actually getting the shit done that they need to get done. So I have shifted my need to answer immediately, respond immediately, react immediately, get it done immediately. And then in turn, I help my clients really determine if like it's a decision they're ready to make right in this moment, or if we need to go into a different practice and come back to it.
Okay. I like that.
Cool. My turn. One of the things that I really admire about you is when you talk about radical ownership, apologizing,
Hmm.
kind of former you who would be looking for somebody wants to fight, I'm ready to go. But one of the things I really love about when you talk about it is it's not a self deprecating or beating yourself up kind of thing. So my
Yeah.
question is, where's the line between radical ownership and kind of just being hard on yourself? And if you can speak to this kind of freedom of there's no shame or wrongness when there's a misstep or you got new information and shifted something.
Ooh, that's a lot of it comes down to, I think, self-awareness. If you know who you truly are now, then you can almost, and I do this a fair amount. I was at lunch with my uncle and my sister yesterday, and we brought up something that happened in the last 5 or 6 years, and you can almost look back on it with a bit of detachment and be able to say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna blame anybody for how I was in that period or how I acted, but that just isn't me now,
Mm.
and it doesn't serve me to beat myself up about the mistakes I made, the idiot I was. I mean, you know, Amy and I have been back together for about 4 years now, and in the 3 or 4 years we were apart, I was fucking horrible to her.
Mm.
And if she can forgive me for that, why I should be able to forgive myself for that. And I said to him when we got back together, I'm going to spend the rest of my life making up for how I've been. I like to think I've done enough of that already, but it's very easy to kind of get into that doom cycle of, oh, I'm so horrible, oh, it's so embarrassing. It's okay just to say, you know what, that just isn't me now. It's
Yeah.
not me. You can't dismiss it. You've got to learn from it. You've got to accept it and own it. But at the same time, it doesn't serve me now and the person I am now would never act like that. So it's very easy to kind of close the door on that and say, you know what, that I'm not gonna beat myself up on it.
Right.
Does that
I
answer the
wouldn't say
question?
absolutely answers
Yeah,
it. I wouldn't say like that there's a pride in it when you talk about it, but when you talk about some of these things, it comes across to me more empowered because I
yeah,
think you've truly owned it and you know that you live a life that if someone really looked would go, yeah, he got it. He shifted and he is a different person, right? Versus just the shame that a lot of people will carry around with that. And I have a quick follow-up question to that.
hmm,
Let's say Amy hadn't forgiven you, right? Or another question might be, how much do other people or your environment play a part in being in the ability to take radical ownership, if at all?
well, it's interesting because in the period of reconciling, and it didn't start off as let's get back together. It was just we need to co-parent better. let's
Mm,
let's rebuild the bridge there.
mhm,
My therapist would always joke, I kind of went on this apology tour, like anybody that I felt like I had not acted appropriately towards in those 4 or 5 years, the difficult years.
Mhm.
I went and apologized, and I think I created the environment. I
Mm,
went to Amy's mum and I said, I want to speak to you. I want to apologize for how I was towards her and towards you.
mm,
I was, I said a few mean things to her. Um, so I think I recreated the environment,
mm,
and I think there's power in that, right? If you go, if you, I think I've just learned, if you just go in and are genuinely vulnerable and genuinely authentic in your apology, it's very difficult for people not to change their perception of you. People, you might still be wary of someone, but if you just walk in and say, I fucked up, and
mhm.
I'm truly sorry, and that's not who I am, at least now.
Yeah.
I think the environment does play a huge part, but you have to impact the environment. It starts with you.
It's more the intention than the outcome,
Yeah,
perhaps. I mean, you're gonna get your outcome. And if I might be so bold as to say where I see the connection is, the radical ownership is actually the gift of freedom that you give yourself to stop beating yourself up, to stop being so hard on yourself.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Cool. Is there ever a moment when you're like, I'm just being really hard on myself right now, or is it always like, I I should apologize, or I should own that?
If I feel like I should have apologized, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, and a lot of it is down to my spirituality now and my connection
Mm-hmm.
with God, and trying to live through Christ. It gives me
Mm-hmm.
a bit of a different north star, and I have to get into all of that now. So that definitely plays a huge part. Um, yeah, no, I very rarely beat myself up about how I acted, and it's
Yeah.
not because I'm not sorry. I think it's actually the opposite. It's because I'm genuinely sorry about it.
Yeah.
That like you said, there's a freedom to that.
I love that because you're genuinely sorry and you've taken corrective actions,
Right.
right? That's the repair part. Right, when you said about with Amy becoming better co-parents and rebuilding the bridge, it's just the rebuild is the repair. You have to have repair, and you can't have repair if you keep saying sorry but doing the same thing that
Yeah.
caused the hurt in the first place. So cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. What's the difference between someone who's actually ready to change and someone who
Mm.
just says they're ready to change?
Mm, the amount of pain they're in.
Okay.
So the question is, what's the difference between someone who's actually ready to change and someone who says they want change?
Yeah, I mean, like I used to see it all the time with personal training, where I think I've mentioned it. People are like, "Oh, I really want to do this," and then you're like, "No, you don't. You're
Yeah.
saying you are." I always say you have to be at rock bottom
Yeah.
to actually want to affect the change. So maybe that's what you mean with the pain. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I could even say, oh, people get angry enough or passionate enough, but underneath all of that typically is a deep level of pain. It could be frustration. Maybe you're just, tired of something. Um, you've had enough of yourself and your own
Yeah.
nonsense. You realize that, often there's an epiphany that we don't get another. I think we get other lives, but we don't get another chance at this. And as you get older and you see your children growing up and yourself getting older and partners, um that the it's funny because now this goes back to the conversation about urgency, but the time to take action is now. It was yesterday. So I think having an awareness that there's something that you want to change is like a first step. If you're talking about change management or how people actually make change,
Yeah.
having awareness and realizing that there's potentially a gap between where you are and where you want to go. Is it that you need more information or more tools. Often it's not. Often we have the information and we have the tools. I would say it's the willingness to say enough is enough or something must change. It's that must word, and stepping into that, and you typically need a very powerful driving emotion. That could be love. Love is the most powerful of all of them, but I
Hmm.
do feel like most people affect change from pain, uh, over love
Yeah, I
or
mean,
fear of pain.
my first thought with it was they're not clear on their why,
Mm,
right? Like if you don't really know what your why is, it's very difficult to act on making change. So
mhm.
my follow-up question would be, how do you work with someone to really peel back the layers and get them to get to that why?
Yeah,
Because it's often not what we think it is. My it's my kids. Okay, but why? What
right.
about your kids? Just kind of speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. So helping people get to a point, this is all change at the highest level happens at the identity level. So if you do not believe this for yourself, even if it's not fully, you have to at least start telling your subconscious, like, this is who you are. Um, so we work at identity, we ask really good questions. First, I like to get a reality check. Like, where are you right now?
Hmm.
Not what you're posting on social media. Like, we're really good at even fooling ourselves. Like, oh yeah, my life looks great. Everything looks good. It's all curated. I'm having success, right? Yeah, I'm stressed and this and that, but I'm having success. Really kind of peeling it all back and getting a reality check. Like, where are you right now financially? Where are you right now in your relationships? Where are you right now in your spiritual journey? Where are you right now in your mental health? Where are you right now in your physical health? Um, you can be doing phenomenal in two areas and it's a dumpster fire in another area. So again, embracing the stuff that like we're afraid to look at and that we're kind of suppressing. And if I just keep having success over here and people value me for that, and I've now created my identity around that, then it's easier to ignore this, even though in my soul, in my gut, I know something needs to change.
Yeah.
To me, that's success and freedom when when change, you can choose how you want to do it versus it being forced on you. Like if you're eating shitty, horrible food and clogging up your arteries, you can either choose to change your diet and start adopting a healthier movement lifestyle, or your body chooses for you and you get a heart attack.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the true freedom. So enough pain. We tend to move away from pain more than we move towards pleasure.
Yeah.
It's why a lot of people start with negative reinforcement, which I don't actually like that. But getting a reality check and then finding out, like, who are you?
Yeah.
Which is a big question. And we're many people, but helping clients dig down into who it is that they are, what they've forgotten about, what they've adopted when somebody else told them that they were, and that you start hearing that, well, I should be this, I
Right.
should do this. The moment I hear should coming out of my own mouth or out of a client's mouth, immediately it's a stop. Don't should all over yourself. What do you want?
Yeah.
Because if you don't want it and you don't desire it, like deeply desire it, you are not going to do it. And
Yep.
it, like you will often say, it's not necessarily the activity that you want or desire, it's the outcome
Right.
that you want or desire. So, how are you motivated? Willpower, two very limited resources. How is your identity making decisions to get you to that outcome that you're saying that you want? But first, let's make sure you really want it.
Yeah.
Did that answer?
Very very good.
Cool. Okay. Who are you when nobody's watching? Like, I think I know the answers, but I don't want to put that. I wouldn't say you're a different person off camera than you are on camera, but I think that there are some nuances. So if we were going to peek behind, what is that, the third wall? Is there a slightly different Paolo off pod than there is on pod or just
Yeah.
out in life? Yeah.
I'm generally very sarcastic, and I worry that it won't come across on camera in the same way.
Mm,
You know, I'm I've always been a big tease. I always tease people. You know, my family in general, we're always ribbing each other, and I think, and I rib the kids all the time. I think a bit of self deprecation is the best way of going through life, because you know you got to believe in yourself, but you got to be able to make fun of yourself, right? So I make
mhm,
fun of people a lot.
mhm,
So I don't do that on camera as much, obviously, because again, I don't want it. There's something about being in person. You get to feel how someone is, and it's something simple like you can say something and just do a little smile at the end, and someone will
mhm,
get it. They know
mhm.
you're just teasing them. So that's probably the biggest thing. I feel like I curse all the time on here anyway. I don't drop the C bomb. That's probably the one word I don't throw on here, because I know how offended everybody gets by that. But no, I feel like I'm pretty genuine on here. Curious what have you experienced on and off?
About you?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like you do show up so genuine and authentically. I think I hear a baby, or not a baby, but
yes.
a bambino.
They've got the whole house to roam around, and they're right there.
Um, I feel like you are a very powerful force. And I think if I had an observation from the outside, it's very easy for people to be like, he's a good looking guy. He's in great shape. You know, he's got it together. Like he's having success. Um, your English way is warm, but not like you don't burst in like a butterfly into the room. Like you come in more like, I don't know, maybe like that, like you come in and check things out. And I think from knowing you personally, just that like super down to earth, like you said, like you don't think your poop doesn't stink. I think the few insecurities that we've shared together,
Yeah.
that's always so surprising to me, right? But it's always so beautiful because it's just the reminder that no matter what you're looking at in someone else and thinking that they've got, you know, all the things that you want or just don't have to worry about certain things, you're you have a very sweet, soft heart.
Oh, thank you very much. Actually, and one thing I think I would add is I'm is very obviously. I feel like when you're listening to a podcast, you've given us permission to coach and to project and give advice and things of
Mhm.
that nature. I'm actually not like that at all in person. If you ask me for advice, I'm more than happy to give it to you, but I'm not. It's not my nature to like you're a little bit opposite of that. Like you're all. I feel like you can just switch into coach mode, whereas I always
I
feel
do
like
ask
I need
permission.
you. I need you to ask for it
Yeah.
before I give it. So people may get the impression that I'm always preaching, or I don't. If you're telling me, I was having conversations yesterday with stuff I completely disagree with in terms of health, I just keep my mouth shut. Unless you've asked my opinion on it, I don't
Mhm.
need to tell you.
Yeah.
So that's probably a big difference, because there's that implied by listening, the fact that you're here. I'm
Yes.
gonna I'm gonna preach.
Yeah. All right. Do you think is there anything that you think would be like really surprising, like something that you like or something that you do? Like I know that most of our listeners have no idea about your alter ego musician self.
My music.
Yeah.
Um, I do think people are always surprised at what my singing voice sounds like,
Mm,
because my speaking voice is completely the opposite of it.
yeah.
So maybe there's that. I the performer in me has definitely been suppressed. I mean, I used to be a big, showman on stage and stuff like that, and that's now when I get up and have to speak publicly, I actually I feel like I'm in my shell a lot more. So,
Yeah.
but I mean that's a me thing, and that's not
Yep.
necessarily that I'm being different. It's just probably years of being out of practice.
Yeah.
You know.
I can definitely see you stepping more into your kind of stage presence and what you're sharing, like giving yourself that permission. I think just getting some more reps in as well. Um, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing like what Paolo presenting nervous system fitness for both of us, but I'm interested for you, like, 20 presentations from now.
Right.
What do you look like up there? What do I look like up there? How are we playing off each other? I really love that. Like that's such a cool
I'm
evolution.
I'm much different. I always need a stage.
Yeah.
Even when I was doing for 5 years in a row, I did charity events for Girls on the Run,
Oh yeah.
where I perform, and did a few in a coffee shop where I was on the same level, and I
Mhm.
didn't feel the same performance as I did when we did it at the gym. I
Yeah.
rented stages, and that's how I was up. But
Mm.
that's yeah,
Cool. Yeah, it is a different feeling presenting from stage
yeah,
or elevated versus
exactly.
and I like both depending on what I'm trying to get across and also the size of the audience.
Yeah, and I will always prefer performing in front of 2,000 people instead
Yeah.
of 20.
That's why you like the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to kind of
Cool.
just be in your zone.
Yeah, if I'm in
Um,
20 people, I wanna be, like, sitting on the floor with them.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
All right, the last one for me. What's a pattern in your own life that
Mm.
you're still working on unwinding?
Ugh, God.
Do we have time to answer that question?
We do, because 'cause I'll keep it short and sweet. A pattern in my life that I am still working on unwinding, um, is my fight or flight, and it's always gonna be there, right? It's a natural nervous system state, but nutshelling it, I grew up with an alcoholic father who I would realize, okay, he's to the point where he's had too much to drink tonight. We're going to have to leave. We would leave the house.
Oh wow.
Um, we did not have a yelling house. Like there was the only time there was yelling or like chaoticness was when he would drink too much. So my brother and I both slept with packed bags under our beds. And like my job was if my mom was like, okay, we're going to go, or I would begin to anticipate it and know, like, okay, we're going to have to go, get my stuff, go get my brother, get his stuff, get one of the dogs, Brandy, she used to be the one that would come with us, and get in the car and like wait for my
Yeah.
mom. So, ooh, it's a little emotional for me.
I don't think I've ever actually heard this much detail
Yeah.
about that situation.
So that was years of that. And then there
So
were, yeah,
I'm trying to give you some time
thank you.
to process. Does that kind of show up as when faced with adversity or uncomfortableness,
Mm,
your instinct is to pack up and run? Or
it's both.
okay.
So there were a lot of cases again growing up where like we would get sent to spend time with him and sometimes it was fine, but a lot of times like he would drink too much and if we were on our own and not I wasn't of driving age yet, you couldn't really go anywhere, so it was like that stay and like protect, like try to go into a room or whatever or
Yeah,
deal with whatever nonsense he was going to be coming out with. And I feel a little weird saying that because my dad's still alive and I love him very
yeah.
much. um Damn it, this question. But fast forwarding, and I was always the one crying to go back to him because I felt bad. I felt like he was
Yeah.
lonely. So it
Well,
created
and
this.
I'll actually for the audience, I think it was very very close to around when we first met. You went on like a 20-hour round trip to go and see him because he had a
Yeah.
medical thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that speaks to that love.
Yeah. And my dad's had a stroke and like so much stuff. And I could
Yeah.
look at his life and, he's completely created this he's created everything that, you know, he's experiencing in his life. And over the years I've been able to like kind of shift. I think the one thing is like you either accept him in your life or you don't. Like it
Right.
can't be under your terms because like you don't have I don't have control over that. So that need for control, right? Of okay, this is going to be an unsafe scenario. Am I standing my ground and like fighting it? Like I used to go into my parents' bedroom, I would hear him yelling at my mom, and I would go, or I would lay in my bed thinking, I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell him to stop, you know, or I'm going to go in and I'm going to
Yeah.
do this. And I think one or two times I did. You know, not as successful. I don't recommend children do that. um, so I mean, even now, even in my current relationship, when it's either I stand and fight, but like I'm over the top. Like
Right.
I honestly, I could probably kill a grizzly bear with my bare hands when I get in that much of a fight mode.
Yeah.
If I feel stuck, like I can't get away. But I'm also in this where I'm trying to not just get my stuff and leave. I mean, the amount of times I have packed bags and left places. Um, it's not fun. Like I don't want to live like that. So then you try to hold yourself there, but it's the environment is so and so impactful. So finding a way for me to realize that I'm safe and that everything's okay and that urgency doesn't need to happen right then. Like,
Right.
can I find a place to go and be by myself for a little bit? Can I take a walk and decompress? And how the other person is showing up is really a big factor for me because I do need support in those moments of
Right.
trying to figure out like what's the normal thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel I'm abnormal, but what's the normal way to respond? So I think the question was, what is a pattern that so it's my pattern is to not run away because it's not running away out of fear to face it. I think I'm so willing to face things so rawly and so head
Overcorrect.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it makes me great to go to battle with. Like
Yeah.
if you need to take on the world, you want me by your side.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
um,
to me, it kind of sounds just like the two ends of the spectrum is just a case of bringing them closer together, so you don't,
yeah.
you know, it's kind of like you're bringing the parameters in, so you don't go so far
Yeah.
either way.
And I think this is an important thing to say. There's a woman, Teal Swan, who I really she's a little controversial, but I really like her messages a lot.
Yeah.
We have to do self work, but these things like me running away when there's yelling or upsetness, um, that's something that I have to work on with another person. These relationship things, you have to work on them with other people. That's how you become better. That's how you create new tracks in your subconscious.
Yeah.
It's yes, being responsible for yourself and having radical ownership, but you can't work on relationship issues just alone.
No.
So, it's a matter of like, what does your partner need? Where does your partner
Yeah.
have challenges, and then how can you show up? And that's the love part, right? Like, how do you show up loving for that person in some of their most challenging moments when
Yeah.
probably you want to push them away?
Yeah, that was something I learned a while back is how you react when someone else is angry or upset actually has more of an impact on the situation than them.
Yeah.
You know, if your
Yep.
partner is angry about something and you meet that with anger, what do you think is going to
Yeah.
happen?
I
Whereas
mean,
if you can pull back and calm them down,
yes. And
that's
we
the
could
way you
talk
can
about
do it.
masculine, feminine. I mean, the
Yeah.
feminine is very much an emotion and all of
Yeah.
that. And the masculine truly showing up as like that solid, like unmovable mountain rock. I mean, there's things where things have gone well past, and Ben's like, I saw, I saw the ember, like I saw the flame was lit, and I just threw a match on it, right? Like, not saying that, and he would apologize, but I'm the one who had it was lit
Right.
already. Like I already lit it, but recognizing like there are opportunities for your partner that either you get to like set it on fire or come in and help co-regulate.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is something that I'm working on. Great. Love that I
Love it.
cried again on pod.
No, it's great. It's authentic you.
All right, last question.
Mhm.
If you could pick only one practice from your health journey over your lifetime to carry on for the rest of your life, only one, what would it be?
Sleep. Okay. Before you even finish the question, it was there. Sleep. I mean, everything. You can meditate. You can eat clean. You can red light therapy. All of this stuff. If you're not
Yeah.
sleeping properly, I mean, just think about it. It's for most people, it should be about a little less than a third of your life,
Mm,
right? 7 or 8
mhm,
hours of a 24
mhm,
hour day. If you're not getting that right, you can undo every good practice that you have. It's always the first thing I work on with people.
mm,
Um, if I was to answer the question that I asked you first about, what would I argue with? I mean, it's been over
mm,
2 years now, 4 or 5 years. I used to think sleep, whatever. I'm fine. I can hustle. I can live off the 4, 4, 5, 6 hours.
mhm,
No, we will talk about my mother's death because I feel like I owe it to the audience to talk about the grief while I'm living it.
mm,
We'll do that after the funeral in a couple of weeks. But I really feel like if I'm a root cause guy. It's funny. Functional health has really shaped my outlook on the world in general. Just I always want to find the root cause. Yeah,
mm,
this is happening over in this part of the world. All right, what actually caused that? So I'm trying to, as part of my grief process, I'm like, all right, what contributed to my mum getting this disease? Yes, we can all be genetically predisposed to stuff, but truthfully, most, if not all, disease is preventable if we practice the right stuff. And I remember her having really hard years of not being able to sleep. And I
mm,
wonder how much of that, because the disease she had, it's a tau plaque buildup in the brain.
mhm,
When does that get flushed out? During your deep sleep. When does deep sleep
mm.
happen? Mostly 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 10 p.m. to 2
10 p.m. to
a.m.
3 a.m. Uh-huh.
And I remember her not saying she couldn't sleep until like 1, 2 in the morning. So I'm like, all right, maybe that's,
Mm,
so sleep is so important. I wouldn't, I actually think if you dial your sleep in, you could actually lose weight more
mm,
efficiently. You could actually maintain the physique you want without exercising, without even necessarily eating as clean as you should,
mhm.
because it's that important. I mean, hormone production, all of this stuff happens while you're sleeping, muscle recovery, this the whole idea of sleep when you're dead. How about sleep so you don't die?
Yeah. All right. Sleep. We'll do it. We'll do an episode on sleep because setting yourself up for sleep and all, those things that you can give
Yeah.
us so many great tools on it. All right, that was fun. All right,
Yeah, it
three
was.
questions with no passes.
I knew there wouldn't be. I had two backup questions for you, but I knew there wouldn't be.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Until next time, friends. Bye for now.